This episode is presented by East West Bank. We are proud to bank with them at AAGC because they've truly helped make conversations like this possible. They're one of the strongest banks in the country, known for bringing communities together and creating real opportunities. And honestly, working with a team that understands our culture and our needs has been such an easy, supportive experience. Thanks, East West Bank.
Hello, this is Undefinable and AAGC Originals. We are here to chat with trailblazers, inspirational multi-hyphenates, and we sit down with them to ask them about their younger selves and the advice that they would give their younger selves. Hello, Kara.
Hello, Jenna.
How are you?
Honestly, great.
She woke up just so happy.
Just happy. Happy is the bare minimum. And we are staying consistent with that.
Always.
Yes.
Speaking of advice to our little selves and what people were like growing up, I've never gotten to ask you what you were like growing up, Kara.
Oh, crazy. Yeah, we haven't gotten into it.
What were you like growing up, Kara?
I was, to be honest, just like a miniature version of who I am now.
Like ham, happy, lively.
Yes. And I appreciate that you put ham before happy because I do think it comes in that order.
I believe that it's childlike.
Yeah, I think I was just I was a very outgoing kid. And I really did like being center of attention.
Okay.
So the same, cool, obnoxious, great, love
it.
What were you like when you were little?
Ham. Total ham. Always like, my parents would always say, in a restaurant, I would go up and say hi to other people.
Oh, you were that kid.
And I didn't really fully understand what that meant until like I had children that like do not want to look at other people at all. Oh. Like my daughter's very shy. She's like,
shy
people
girl.
Are looking at me.
Well, she's shy girl until she's not shy girl.
Right.
Yeah.
She's not always shy, but she's shy in public. Mm-hmm. Very aware of like her surroundings. So anyway, I was just very lively. Were you a club girly?
Oh, I was such a club girly, especially when I started school.
Were you like speech debate girly or like theater girly?
I was a show choir girly, which you would know about.
Brings me so much joy.
I was a hardcore show choir girly.
Really?
Like very hardcore, like very competitive. We went to nationals. Everybody was vying for the middle front row spot, which again was what I was doing when I was like 5
it's giving
in chamber choir. It is giving all of it. It is giving, yes. Like who has the middle front row spot? That was the crowning jewel.
I also was a show choir girly, and believe it or not, I was the only one actually in show choir from the cast of Glee.
Stop it.
Yeah.
So you were the
I was also the only one who has like a college degree. So overachiever.
Very Asian of you. That's why you were the perfect Asian representation on that show.
There was an episode called Asian F, and we will have Harry on at some point to talk about it.
Oh, well then perfect. We'll save that for that.
All right, who do we got today, Kara?
Oh my gosh. I'm very excited to have this guest today. I feel like we're going to learn a lot, and she's the exact type of guest that like I'm like
I feel like this is your lane.
I have many questions.
Okay.
I have many questions. We have with us today Dr. Joyce Park. She is a board-certified dermatologist and founder of Skin Refinery, known online as TeawithMD for her science-based approach to skincare education. Trained at Stanford and NYU with experience at the WHO and in medical journalism, she specializes in making complex health topics accessible. I don't know if you've seen any of her content, but it really is
I follow her.
So accessible and digestible. It's amazing.
I love it.
Through her practice and online community, she identified a major gap in effective, easy-to-follow hair loss solutions, leading her to create KERATIV, a dermatologist-developed system focused on scalp health and simple, trustworthy routines. I like spent extra time on my hair today.
Did you?
Because I knew that she was a guest, and
I didn't. I'm a bad
I just wanted to make sure, that like I was representing. So let's have Dr. Joyce Park on.
Yay!
Hi, Dr. Joyce.
Hi.
Wait, do you prefer Dr. Joyce or do you prefer Dr. Park?
Just call me Joyce.
Got it. So none of the above. None of the above.
Yeah,
I know,
Joyce.
but you worked hard for that, doctor.
You're right, I did.
You worked hard for it. So I
Yes.
just want to make sure it's acknowledged. But yes, we are amongst friends. So Joyce, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I feel like this is gonna be like a chat amongst friends.
Yes. It's very exciting. Okay. So we usually just like to start off by asking, what was little Joyce like? What was she like?
Little Joyce was very different in many ways. Like, first of all, I was painfully shy. Like, you guys were the ultimate hams, right?
Yes.
Which makes sense given like what you do now, how
Yes.
your personalities are today. But I was so painfully shy. Like, it was really difficult for me to go out, make friends, like talk to people I didn't know.
Wow.
And that's one part of it. And the second part of it, and I don't think I've ever talked about this before, but I grew up in a Taiwanese immigrant household.
Okay.
And my nickname and what I was known for was 小乖.
小乖.
乖
What does
means,
that mean?
you know, I've tried to explain this to my Korean husband. And there is a term in Korean, but 乖 means like you listen and like you're a good
Like a good
kid.
kid. Yeah. Like, because you could say guai, it's not gender specific, but it's like
good kid.
you're like a good little girl. Like, basically,
like you
is
listen
what,
to your
yes.
elders, you
Yes.
do what you're told,
Mhm.
you study, you
Got
check all the
it.
boxes.
Yes.
And I've just like thought about that so much now
Unpack it,
as
girl.
an adult.
Unpack it.
Oh my God. Like now that I have kids of my own and they are not guai.
They are not guai.
Oh,
okay.
no. But you know, sometimes as my son is like talking back to me, or if he's like defending his position or standing his ground or like making a case, sometimes I'm like taken aback and I'm like, wow, I'm impressed that you're sticking up for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
You know?
don't be guai. Like,
Yeah.
respect the not
Yes.
guai right now.
And I feel like
love
that's
it.
such a difference, like a cultural difference
Yes.
in what was emphasized as being the model daughter
Yeah.
when I was growing up
Definitely.
in that like Taiwanese culture
Yeah.
versus now growing up in an American culture and working in an American workplace, you see what kinds of things are valued.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a good point. I grew up in a immigrant Chinese household as well. And like just Jenna, to let you know, like guai was like a compliment. Like if the adults were like, oh my gosh, my kid is like how guai, you know, like that's like, oh, you raised a good kid. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you raised the kid that, like you said, is listening to
Listening.
you and does all the things that they're supposed to do, you know?
Yeah.
But I wonder, you know, just coming off of that, especially our generation, having to unlearn that, especially as you became an adult and in, you know, these workplaces, many of these workplaces, like we don't get, it's not a good thing maybe to be too guai and to be, you know, put your head down and get the work done and having to relearn, having to, you know, speak up for yourself. Do you feel like you went through that and having to relearn those habits?
Totally. And yeah, it was, like you said, something I was praised for being. And I just remember at all our family functions, you know, all the other cousins, their nicknames were not Xiao Guai. Xiao means little. So I was like the little obedient one, which when you translate into English, it sounds really weird, but in Chinese, it is a compliment.
Yes,
For
it is,
sure.
especially from the adults. It's like definitely a
And
compliment.
so that's what I was kind of known for. And I think I just kind of grew up in that role with those expectations and being praised for it within my family. And then you go out into the real world, you know, college, med school, residency, the workplace, and you learn that going with the flow and being a people pleaser is really not beneficial.
No.
And I've made it my goal this year to actually really start standing my ground and protecting my space and putting down boundaries. And that has been really difficult and very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it took like this is a year that you're like focusing on that. What has your past been like, and like kind of have you been on a roller coaster of trying to do that, or is this like a new experience for you?
I think learning to set boundaries professionally, I did learn along the way because I mean, I've been in the workforce for a long time.
Yeah, you probably had to. Like at some point
Yeah.
you're forced to do that, right?
Yeah,
Especially given how
absolutely.
successful you are.
Well, there's just so many demands on your time, you know? And I think now it's more learning to set boundaries in my personal life because I have 2 young kids. I see patients, I create content, and I launched my brand. So I just don't have
Jenna's
time.
exhausted. We're exhausted. Listening to that list, we're exhausted.
I get it. I feel it deep in my core.
Yes.
I don't have time.
I know.
And so I think also being a dermatologist, a lot of friends and family, but even people I haven't spoken to in maybe 15 to 20 years will still text me with pictures of their skin conditions and be like, can you please help me with this?
Yeah. Wow.
And so the people pleaser in me always wants to help.
Right.
But the truth is, like, we don't have a doctor-patient relationship. And it's better if we do.
Yeah.
Right.
Because this isn't like a one-off, like, let me just look at this really blurry picture and tell you what it is kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So learning to set boundaries or
Mhm.
just being very firm with my time. Like,
Yeah.
for example, Friday afternoons are special totori. That's my son's nickname. It
Mm.
means acorn in Korean.
Oh,
It's
cute.
special totori mommy time. And so Friday afternoons are sacred, right? Like he gets to choose the activity and we go out to dinner and we do tuck-in. So just, yeah, really laying down those boundaries and learning to say no when it's needed. It has been very difficult.
Sure.
But I'm working on
Wow, interesting.
So hard.
So did you grow up with siblings?
it. I have a younger brother.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So he was not Guai, or was he Guai too?
You know, I think he was Guai, but not as much as me.
Mhm.
And
Especially,
I think,
firstborn,
yeah.
eldest daughter.
oh my gosh.
I mean,
So much pressure.
yeah.
Are you guys eldest daughters?
No.
I'm the baby, which is
Yeah, we're babies.
That's why we're the hams.
Oh, that's why that all makes sense now.
Just trying to make space for ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Make the room.
Yeah. Do you see me? Do you see me? Do you?
You made sure that everybody saw
Yes,
you.
exactly.
Yeah, I think eldest daughters, especially growing up in immigrant families, have all of their parents' hopes and dreams and expectations placed upon
Yeah.
them. And I do think there's very different set of expectations for the younger siblings.
Definitely.
And I think my brother was more of a free spirit.
Mhm.
You know, he's so social. He has like he's like so funny.
Yeah.
And he's just, he's like so sociable. Everyone loves him.
Oh, I
A
love
little less pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. You took the brunt of that.
Yes.
So speaking of that too, with, growing up in an immigrant family and what were those expectations, did you choose to go into medicine, or was that, was that something you or they pushed, or you stumbled into it, or you love it? Like, how did
I feel
that
like
happen?
it was a combination of
Mhm.
maybe the two. I think my mom and my dad grew up in Taiwan. And I
Mhm.
think Taiwan, Japan, Korea, for people growing up in those countries, becoming a doctor was kind of like the most respectable path.
Oh,
A
absolutely.
very stable
Yes.
job. And my mom's best friend from childhood actually grew up and became a doctor in Taiwan.
Okay.
She's a PM&R specialist. And I think my mom just saw her career path and felt like that would be so amazing for her daughter, for me.
Mhm.
And so from a young age, I do think she encouraged me to consider medicine because she always wanted me to be able to have a steady income where I could take care of myself. And
Yeah.
also, she stressed this, not have to depend on a man.
Mm.
And so she instilled this independence in me
Yep.
from a very young age. And then I think as I became more exposed to the medical field, I developed a genuine interest in
Yeah.
it. And it grew into something that I love. And I think I could have never predicted that my career would take all of the weird and interesting turns that it did, but I'm very grateful for where I ended up.
Wow. Like, did you, when you studied, did you specifically study dermatology?
So you go into undergrad, you do your 4 years there, and then you do your 4 to however many years in med school.
Mhm.
And then after med school, so basically like your last year of med school, you decide on the specialty that you want to apply into. And so at that point, I decided very late in the game that I was going to switch from ophthalmology, eye surgery. I switched into derm.
Wow.
Which is a
Okay.
very risky decision, actually, because most people who decide to go into derm decide like day one of med
Early
school.
on?
Yeah.
Mm.
They try to get to know everybody.
Yeah.
They try to publish because dermatology is a specialty that's in high demand,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's a very stable, interesting job that has good hours, not
Yeah.
as many emergencies.
That's why you have all those text messages coming in. Like, what is this mole?
That's
Why
right.
did you swap from ophthalmology to
So,
dermatology?
Yeah, I did a rotation in ophtho, and not to say anything against ophtho, right? Like they are out there saving people's vision,
Truly.
right? Like I've had vision correction surgery, life changing.
Yes.
Yeah.
LASIK?
But
Oh
I
my gosh,
just-
changed my life.
I just could not. It was just so
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to operate under a microscope all day.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to look in people's eyes all day. It just didn't it didn't move me.
Mhm.
And then one of my mentors happened to be a dermatologist, and he was like, you got to do a rotation in derm.
Just try it.
And I was like, I cannot because I'm so intimidated. My roommate at Stanford Med School, she was one of those who had come into med school day one. She was like, I'm doing
That's it.
derm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, I can't compete with people like
Right.
that.
Like, how do I catch up?
Yeah.
In a way,
like she's
right?
been doing it for 4 years.
Yes.
And so I was super intimidated, but then I decided to just do a rotation. I was like, maybe I'll hate it. loved it.
Naturally. That's how, naturally.
I was like, I have to go into this field.
Yeah.
Like, it is the best field. I still, hold true to that.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And so I remember meeting with the program director. She was like, you probably have to take another year off. This is after I already took a year off and did medical journalism for a year.
What?
And I was like, I don't want to take another
okay.
year off. So I'm just going to apply, hope for the best. And luckily, my experience doing journalism was super interesting to all the derm programs.
Amazing.
So I was very fortunate. I interviewed at all the top derm programs and then matched at NYU, which was like a dream come true.
Truly.
So I was.
Such great schools. I mean, truly, your parents must be so thrilled. It's the derm, the doctor.
She's the top of the top.
It's the Stanford. It's the NYU.
I do think though there's
incredible.
like such an interesting trajectory. You talked about like the twists and turns of it all, and like what great lessons that like you took the fear and you tried it. And there was no risk in just trying something. And you found the path. And also listening to like, ophthalmology, yes, it's great, but it wasn't your calling. Like they're so important to listen to those pieces and then also like push through the fear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even though going into medicine is a very like traditional path maybe for Asian immigrant families, offspring like me, but I think the way that I constantly pushed the limits and tested what I could do with that medical degree has been just unexpected.
Yeah.
Like I talked about taking a year off. Like a lot of students at Stanford will take a gap year to do research, strengthen their application to residency. I decided to go off and do journalism for a year because it sounded really fun to me.
Talk about that. What is that? What exactly does that mean, medical journalism? Yeah, like what did you do?
So, good question.
Yes.
It was actually a fellowship that was being sponsored by the Stanford Global Health Department. I was the guinea pig. I was the first one. It's still in existence today. I think it's on its like 20th year or something.
Because obviously was successful.
It was,
the program was successful.
People have loved it. And the goal of the program was to train a future physician in how to talk to media about health and medical issues.
Oh.
I mean, I had no idea this is what I was going to end up doing so many years later, but it was just the coolest year. Like they sent me to the World Health Organization headquarters in Geneva to work in their press office. So every day we would talk to journalists from around the world about global health issues.
Wow.
So we would speak in English and then all the journalists would have their headphones on and it would translate into every language. And so that was a super cool experience. Then I took a quarter of journalism classes through the grad program back at Stanford. So I learned how to like write and edit pieces, but also how to shoot and produce content, which this is 2011.
This is, wow.
So this is like
way ahead of the curve.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Way
there were
ahead.
like no dermatologists making content. I mean, I wasn't even derm yet. I was a med student.
What?
And then the latter half of the year, I went to New York City to work for NBC News. So I worked for their medical correspondent, Dr. Snyderman. And every week, the team and we would look at all the medical studies that were going to be coming out in the next 2 weeks. We would pick ones that would be good for TV and we would pitch it to the producers meeting at the beginning of the day. So we would be in there with Brian Williams, who is the anchor of Nightly News, and all the producers, and we would pitch the stories and they would pick like, okay, this goes to Today's Show, this goes to Nightly News, this one's for Rock Center. And I'd go with Dr. Snyderman to go shoot the whole thing, sit with her in the editing booth, and then watch her go live on air. And as part of that year, my director was like, I heard there's this thing called social media. I don't know what it means. Please like figure it out. And so they had me start blogging that year.
You were an OG blogger. Like we're talking like pre-social media blogger.
Were you guys on Zanga like back in the day?
We all learned how to code, okay?
Yes!
On Zanga.
That was so
Were you not
loud.
on Zanga?
But
Dude.
I am so,
LiveJournal and Zanga? Girl. LiveJournal and Zanga. I remember being like
in HTML. What's for Zanga?
Like how to make your like title like be wavy or like how to like make it sparkle. We were like OG coding.
Yes.
This was
before
any
ChatGPT
of it
could do it for you.
No,
that's right.
We put in the work.
So I only blogged in that context before with Zanga.
Right.
And I had Facebook because I think my my year entering college was like the second class ever that had Facebook.
Yeah.
It was that long ago.
Yeah.
And so this was the first time that I started blogging professionally,
Mhm.
and I loved it. And so even after the year was over, after I went back to med school, I decided to keep blogging.
Mhm.
And so I purchased TeawithMD.com, which my high school brother at the time came up with. And I just
shout
started
out,
like
brother.
writing as like my little creative outlet.
Mm.
And it just like kind of grew over the years to Instagram,
Yeah.
TikTok, and I don't know.
Because
it's
that
just
was
been-
how many years ago then?
that
means
was
this has been-
2011 that I started
Oh my-
blogging.
So it's been 15 years.
Yeah.
So ahead of the
That's what I'm
curve.
saying. I'm a grandmother on social media. A legit grandmother.
No.
I mean, well, you
did
look
it.
good. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you look
She's a
you look like
granny.
a good grandmother. I mean, I will say. I mean, that is wild. It's
Mhm.
actually just hearing about the medical journalism part was so mind-blowing.
Yes.
Because I think, I mean, even now, obviously now with social media, there is access to things that we've never had before. Like I remember
Right.
when we didn't have internet, you know, and
Yeah.
the Zynga, MySpace
I
of it all,
remember.
you know?
Yeah.
But it's like for you to have the experience and the education to be able to give the communication to the people, right? Because there's so many doctors and so many specialists and experts, but they're not necessarily good at communicating
Yeah.
the information
Yeah.
to have it be digestible to the normal public.
Mm.
And so obviously this has led into all of your stuff now with this, you know, social media and all of
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the crazy thing is, it's not like I planned this path, you
Mhm.
know? Like, it's
Right.
not like
Right.
there was a content creator path back then.
Yeah.
It's just mind blowing because now when younger people, like when they talk to me, they'll be like, oh, like, how did you decide to do this step and this step and this step? And I was like, I just kind of picked what I was really interested in.
Yeah.
And when social media took off, it's not like I ever thought this could be a money earning potential second career.
Right.
I just did it because it was fun. I literally got on TikTok to dance, you guys.
Stop.
I'm very bad at dancing, mind you.
But you like it.
Wait, that just like took such a hard pivot. Let's discuss.
But
this
you like
dancing.
dancing.
Yes.
Surprise you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was home
Okay.
on mat leave.
Yeah.
It was COVID, and my friend sent me this link. She was like, watch these funny dog videos.
Yeah.
Shout
Okay.
out to Lillian because she launched my TikTok career.
Shout out Lillian.
So I downloaded it, couldn't figure it out, deleted it. And she was like, no, but it's really funny. Like, you should try.
Yeah.
So then I went on it. I started scrolling and I noticed there were dance challenges. So I started learning the choreography for fun.
We remember those COVID dance challenges.
Renegade,
Yes.
Kesha,
Yes.
like
That's right.
all of those. And so I started dancing for fun, like literally just to amuse myself
Yes.
as I'm home on mat leave. And I would put dermatology facts on top of my dancing. So like skincare facts, like how to take care of your skin, how to make a skincare routine. I'd like put the text
Wait,
on.
you were so ahead
over
of the
me
curve.
dancing.
Really ahead of
Because
it.
that's what people do now. You know, it's like the get ready with me videos, you know, but then it's like all this other text
That's
and
so good.
different types of digestible information.
Yeah,
That is
'cause, I mean,
wild.
I'm sure they do it in a much better format
No,
than
I
I
Yeah.
don't think
did.
So,
But
Yeah.
I
that was
think you've got
2020
it.
though.
And do you
know?
think people were watching those videos for your dancing or for the facts? What do you
Oh
think?
my gosh.
What do you think
Maybe
in your
to
heart of
laugh
hearts,
at my
Joyce?
dancing?
No. There's this running theme though for you that is like I tried it because it was fun.
Yeah.
Like do you feel like that's always been like something like part of your compass? Because it feels like everything you're saying is like I tried the journalism year because it was sounded fun. I did the content because
Yeah.
it was fun. Like, can you talk more about that?
That's such a great question because I think going back to how I grew up, like up until college, I
Mhm.
was such a by the book kind of
Yeah.
girl. And I always did what I thought was necessary to get to the next step. I didn't take that many risks. And so I feel like once I felt more comfortable and confident in my path, I really wanted to explore
yeah.
and like, try to step outside of the beaten path a little bit. Yeah.
Wow, so interesting. Okay, so where did the hair stuff come into play? Because, you know, derm, obviously you were focused on, well, first eyes, then skin, then hair.
Yeah.
That was obviously the journey.
evolution.
Eyes,
Making
the
my
skin,
way
then hair.
back.
Yes. What was, how did that happen?
Yeah, so dermatologists actually treat hair loss and also scalp conditions. And so as part of my residency, we actually had a hair clinic that we would rotate through.
Wow.
We had a very famous dermatologist who specialized in hair loss, Dr. Jerry Shapiro, and he had a specialty clinic that only saw hair loss patients.
Wow.
And as trainees, we would work with him and learn from him, obviously, and also take lectures, we would study, and we would also look at samples of scalp biopsies under the microscope to be able to diagnose hair loss conditions.
Wow.
And so once I graduated from residency and went into practice, treating hair loss was a big part of my practice as well. You know, scalp conditions, but also hair conditions. And I think over the years, as I saw hundreds of patients cry with me over their hair loss, and also see this shift on social media where people are already pretty educated about skincare, but I feel like scalp care, hair care is still, we're just starting.
I've seen a
to
huge,
scratch that.
obviously, trend, you know, in the last year, I would say, with the scalp spas and, you know, in
Yes.
Korea, in the States, like these 18-step, you know, spot, like it's a very current thing right now.
Yeah, I think people are just starting to become more aware that your scalp is skin too, and there's a lot we can do for it to care for it to make sure our hair has the best chance to be as healthy as it can be.
Yeah.
And so I think it was a culmination of what I saw in clinic plus what I was seeing in social media. And obviously in my clinic, I know exactly what to recommend to patients from a medical perspective, but oftentimes my patients would come back and be like, Dr. Park, it was really hard to stick with the routine because the products like made my scalp greasy. I
Right.
couldn't use it during the day and go outside because it was embarrassing. And so I felt like there had to be a way to deliver like truly effective products, but make it products that people enjoy using. Like they'll actually feel like they're taking care of themselves, not just checking off a box like, oh, I have to do this because my doctor told me to.
Like self-care.
Exactly. And so that's why I created KERATIV, was because I wanted to bring my like very, very high attention to detail and making sure it was very, very effective, science-backed, all the things you would expect from a derm-founded brand, but make it feel like more elevated, make it feel enjoyable to use, like have it smell good, have it, you know, make you feel good and make you feel more confident. And so that's what I've been working on for 3 years.
Wow.
Congrats.
That's
Thank
very
you.
cool. What we admire most about East West Bank is their longstanding commitment to uplifting Asian communities for over 50 years. They've built leadership across entertainment, tech, manufacturing, and small business. But what really sets them apart is how much they care about the people that they serve. For us at AAGC, partnering with a bank that truly understands the nuances of Asian American stories and women-led businesses has meant so much. Their support shows up in real ways, from strategic business guidance to personal banking that actually feels human. We always say that banking with East West Bank feels like having our own VIP line. We can call, we can text our bankers, and they are always right there. They literally respond immediately. I don't know when they sleep. So they've supported us from the big picture strategy all the way down to the very, very smallest details, and it makes all of the difference. It's incredibly empowering to have a team behind the scenes that's genuinely rooting for us, our mission, and our community, helping us build something meaningful for the long term. So thank you so much, East West Bank.
You're not only a doctor, but now an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Was it always something that you wanted to do, like as a part of the brand that you kind of have evolved and created? Or was this something that you just felt moved by the patients and all of the response that you had gotten and feedback?
Yeah, I already felt like I got my entrepreneurial itch scratched by building TeawithMD.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I always felt like, okay, I have to make a brand.
Sure.
And honestly, I never really launched one because I felt like there were already so many great skincare brands. I was like, I don't feel like launching something just to launch something, right? And so this brand, KERATIV, truly came out of what I thought was a need for something like this. And I don't have, you know, a co-founder, a big team. I don't have any investors. And so I wanted full control over the look and feel.
This is
And
your
also-
third child.
Oh, yes.
Yes, this is the third child.
Yes. Yes, my poor children have to compete with KERATIV. And then my husband just like, you know, he gets whatever.
He's fourth. It's fine. It's fine.
Wow. Motherhood.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance all of it? Because it's a lot. And it's obviously you talked about like the sacred and, your time, but like how have you navigated the experience of motherhood with also your brand and your business and all of it?
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like there is just no balance,
Mhm.
you know? And someone was telling me, I think I've heard it a couple times on Instagram, that it's the analogy is kind of like you have a lot of balls in the air and some of them are just going to drop. And you just have to know which ones can handle being dropped at the time and you'll pick it up later.
Mm.
And there's
That's a good
just
analogy.
there's no way to balance everything. And I think becoming a mom and having kids has been the most difficult challenge to balance that with everything else that I want to do.
Yeah.
Because your kids will not, they will not wait for you. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
need what they need, right?
Yeah.
How old are your
Yeah.
children?
I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of close to
Four
Jenna's.
4 and 2.
4 and
Or
2.
4 and 1.5.
Mm.
Oof.
Such cute ages,
I
but
know.
also like they
In the
want
trenches.
mommy.
Yeah. You're in the
They want
trenches.
mommy all the time.
I know.
And I also don't want to miss it.
I mean, it
That's
sounds
the
like
part
you're
of it.
doing a really great job in making sure that you are leaving that space. Like what you were saying, for your son on Friday afternoons. Like that sounds so special.
I try my best, but I constantly feel like I'm not like that. I'm just like failing at everything,
Yeah.
honestly. And that has been very difficult to grapple with.
Mhm.
But I think one thing that made a huge difference for us was that my parents moved up from
Wow.
the Bay Area to be near
Oh,
us
yes.
in Seattle. And then my in-laws moved from New Jersey
Oh my
to be near
gosh.
us as well.
I mean, it takes a village. We think about how
Yes.
children used to be raised, like back in the day.
Where is the village?
Where the village? It
I
was
wanna know
always
where
a
this
village.
village is.
You're gonna
'Cause-
move into Joyce's village.
No,
Move near
I
her.
know, and that's
We'll adopt
amazing.
you.
Yes.
It's really thank
Yeah.
you. It's really tough.
Yeah.
It is so hard.
Did you feel like, because in the entertainment industry, I feel like in the past for women, and I wasn't quite there yet in my experience, so like I don't have a lot to touch upon, but like I feel like there was this thing of like, if I have children and I start a family, my career goes on pause. My career's over. I'm no longer marketable. In the medical industry, do you feel like you had to time it out? Obviously, you had a COVID baby, which kind of probably worked out in some ways in a really great way, and then obviously it's COVID. But I'm curious, like, what the mindset is for a woman in the medical industry and how you've seen that evolve or not.
So much more needs to change for women in the medical industry. Our training is so long, right?
Yeah.
Dermatology is already one of the shortest residencies. After med school, we do a year of internship. So I did an internal medicine intern year, and then it's 3 years of derm. So I went pretty quickly through. Like I didn't take that much time off. So I graduated from derm residency when I was 31. But think of my colleagues who did surgical residencies who were then in training for up to 10 years after graduating from med school.
A decade.
So then they're like
That's crazy.
36, right?
Yeah.
By the time they're out. And so a lot of us face this difficulty that our childbearing years are during training, and training just does not support maternity leave. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And so I didn't give birth during training, but a lot of my coworkers did. And dermatology is a little bit more friendly towards moms, but especially my colleagues in surgical fields, their maternity leave was like 2 weeks. And so
Oh my gosh.
I would say
Can't
a
even
lot
imagine.
of women, we do put off having kids until we're done with training. The other thing about training is you have very little control over where you go.
Right.
You go through this crazy process called match. Have you guys heard of it?
Tell us more.
Yes,
Okay.
tell us more.
So in your last year of med school, you apply broadly for all of the dermatology programs, like for me, for example, in derm, and you go interview, and it all comes down to you submit your rank list. So you number all the programs you interviewed at from like 1 to whatever, and you submit it. All the programs then rank all the applicants they liked from
Yeah.
top to bottom. A computer algorithm
Oh my gosh.
does its thing. And then fast forward to March when you graduate, it's called match day.
Oh, God.
Everybody gets together, you get an envelope, okay? You open the envelope,
I'm gonna
you
be
pull out the envelope,
Yeah.
you pull out the letter,
Yeah.
and it's just written on there as the one program. That's where you're gonna go for the next
Yeah.
4 to 10 years. No, there's no other option. Like that's it.
It's like
Wow.
makes me feel like it's like a fantasy football league or
Yeah.
you know, but
Like
like
in a
not
really
but like yeah,
weird
like a
way.
draft. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I
In
meant.
a
I was
really
like, what?
weird way. And so
Wow.
if your partner can't like move to that state,
Yeah,
right?
if it's like random,
Or
right? It
like
could be
you're
any.
choosing, right? You're choosing.
It's so hard. You don't have much control
Yeah.
over where you end up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so for me, I had moved. So I was actually really hoping to stay in California
Yeah.
Yeah.
for residency.
Yeah. Where did you get matched?
Tell
Joyce?
us.
So, well, I got matched to NYU, which
Oh,
ended up
that's
being
right.
Oh, right. Okay.
incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was hoping to stay in California because
Yes.
my husband worked in tech.
Oh my gosh.
He was at Dropbox at the time.
Okay.
And he was happy there. You know, we wanted to stay in San Francisco, but it just didn't work out
Mhm.
that way.
Yes.
And so I ended up moving to New York. He moved with me. He had to change jobs. And then during my last year in New York, he actually got recruited to come back to California. So we did our last year long distance.
Wow.
So there was no way I was going to be pregnant and like in a long distance
No
marriage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's very hard to
Unbelievable.
time all the family planning with all of the
Yeah.
difficulties and logistics.
Talk about
Wow.
lots of balls. That's juggling a lot of balls. I'm just
Too
saying.
many balls.
Just
Yes.
really
Yeah.
insightful. I don't think people talk about that as much as like
Yeah.
they talk about the training and the things you see on TV and the residencies and the you know
Yeah.
all of
Yeah,
it. So.
that's a really, really
the
good
other
question.
thing I wanted to bring up based off of your
Mhm.
question too
Yeah.
was because so many women in medicine put off having kids until they're done,
Mhm.
there's a higher rate of infertility
Yeah.
in female doctors.
Mm.
There's also a higher rate of miscarriage. It's really sad
Wow.
in female surgeons. Like there was actually like a published paper about that.
Really?
And they hypothesized it might be due to like stress and
Right.
the environment.
Yeah.
that
For
they're
sure. I mean, high
in.
stress job as well.
And
Oh
so,
my
you know?
gosh.
We definitely don't talk about that enough
Right.
either.
Right.
And so,
Oh my
It
you
really
know,
does seem like, I mean, not that anybody I feel like is surprised in the unfairness of it all with some of these
Mhm.
jobs and the timeline and, you know. how do-
Yeah,
who-
so-
who do we talk to? How do we change that?
I know. I
Yeah.
hope
Who do we
things
talk
change.
to?
I
Yeah.
hope we can make things better for women who are going into medicine because I was wholly unaware of
Yeah.
all of these things when I
Yeah.
chose to go into medicine
Yes.
in
I mean, the possible
college.
sacrifices,
no
right?
about all
yeah,
those
of
I had
course
no
not.
idea.
Yeah.
And so in my content, I try to be very honest,
Mhm.
but I also try not to scare women off from
Yeah.
becoming doctors because I want female doctors.
Yes.
Yes.
I love
Oh,
female doctors.
Yes.
I need them to be my doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but I want them to know
No.
what they're
Yeah.
getting themselves
Me and all my
into.
girlfriends, I don't know any of us who doesn't have an Asian female doctor. It's like the only
so
person
true.
I will trust.
It's
You're
so
lucky
true.
you
my
have those
ophthalmologist, yeah, my GP,
options.
my gyno, everybody's an Asian
Wow.
female. But you're right, though. I mean,
Yeah.
there should be more.
There needs to be
There needs to be more.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
So I hope changes can be made to better support women going through
Yeah.
the training process.
Wow, very interesting.
Kara, can we talk about the new AAGC collection?
I am freaking out. Look at this new color, the matcha
good.
collection.
This gingham short with this quarter zip.
I mean, I'm going to be living in this.
I
This is
know.
so cute.
It is giving cottage core. It's giving tennis vibes. It's everything I love, cozy and chic.
Oh, it looks so good on you.
Thank
and
you too.
I'm so obsessed with the fact that it is dropping just in time for Heritage Month. I mean, this month is so special to us because it is for us to celebrate our culture, our stories, and our community with all of you. And that's also what makes wearing AGC so special.
Yes, and we love seeing all of you wear it out there. So please tag us. We get such a kick out of it.
Please tag us. And also, there's nothing better than seeing AGC out in the wild. I was getting coffee the other day, and the girl in front of me, like waiting in line to order her coffee, had the AGC hat on.
No, it's
And you can see the brand on the back, and it
So
just
cute.
made me really happy. It made me really happy.
so cute. And the I'm from here shirt, I love this. This is like AAGC to its core.
This is the core. And
Right.
also revealing Cozy Kitty. Okay? If I could be embodied into a
Character.
form right now, it would be this Cozy Kitty. Because this sweatshirt that I have on is also very cozy. COZY, cozy. Here for it. So if you are as obsessed with this matcha line like me and Jenna are, this line is available exclusively at AsianAmericanGirlClub.com. Okay, I wanted to go back to something that we had mentioned slightly before because you had talked about Korea. And I just want to know about like when it comes to Asian beauty, skincare,
Mhm.
hair,
Mhm.
is there
Mhm.
anything that they're doing over there that you're excited about? Or maybe, does it come into your products? Does it, have to do with how did it inspire KERATIV?
Yeah.
Any of that? How does that link?
Yeah. So I think obviously K-beauty has been a huge trend, and I'm like so proud to see that it has put Asia on the map.
Yes.
In terms of the beauty landscape. So I've been very excited by that. I've been following it for years. I think Korean skincare kind of gets back to this principle that like you want to help have healthy skin. It's not just about covering it up with makeup, but really getting back to the basics and building a very foundational good skincare routine. And I think what K-beauty does really well is they have very innovative ingredients. They have amazing manufacturers out there that have the formulation and the production down to a science. And they're always kind of pushing the envelope in terms of just the quality and the innovation that they're putting out. And so I think for the past few years, there's been an interesting trend in K-beauty where there's now this attention being shifted to scalp and hair. The way that we were so obsessed with skincare, 10 years ago, I feel like that's starting to come out in K-beauty. And so the idea is that your scalp is skin too, and you want to have a healthy scalp in order to give your hair the best chance it has to thrive. And so I actually decided to formulate my products in Seoul.
Oh, okay.
Because I felt like Korean manufacturers do have access to a lot of very cutting edge, innovative ingredients. And their quality and their attention to detail and all of the standards that they have for production are just very high. They're also very quick. They're very, very used to being nimble and adapting to what the founder and the brand needs. And so that's why I decided to formulate in Seoul. And so I went to Korea multiple times to check out the labs. I went for the line trial back when my first units were being produced. And I've been just super, super happy and impressed with all of that.
Okay. So, I mean, KERATIV, we all need it. It's the newest stuff. It's the good stuff in there. I mean, this is my personal question as well. If there is 3 tips, just like quick tips you would give to people about scalp care. Just like, what would you say off the top of your head, But I feel like everybody just maybe.
Top of your head.
Oh
my God, I'm so old.
Our kids would probably be like, oh my God.
No, literally.
Mom.
Yes.
Okay, 3 quick tips. Let's see. Well, there's one that I always see on social media, which is this idea that you can train your scalp to produce less oil.
Is that true?
No.
Oh, see,
It's
there
a
you
myth.
go. We
Let's bust
need
that
to
myth.
know these
Debunk.
things.
Debunk.
Yes.
So by purposely not washing your scalp and hair, you're just getting more buildup of oil, dead skin cells, product accumulation, and that's not necessarily healthy for your scalp. And your scalp doesn't magically get trained to produce less oil just because there's all this gunk sitting on top of it. So I do tell my patients, like, please do wash your hair regularly.
I have seen
and
that.
scalp.
I actually have seen that where they're always like, don't wash your hair. Like, all these things. I mean, see, there we go. From
I'm thrilled.
the doctor herself.
Yes.
This
that would be tip number 1, a little myth busting. The second thing I would say is just like you have a skincare routine, you should also have some type of scalp and hair routine. Now, I've never been one for a 12-step skincare routine, and so I'm, again, not one for a 12-step scalp care routine. I'm a busy mom. Like, I have no time.
Who has the time?
I need something extremely fast and extremely simple to
Efficient,
do. And so that's why when I created, for example, my scalp serum, I was like, no more dropper. Like, I'm just going to put it in a squeeze tube because it's faster, right? Like, very
efficient.
precise, to the point, squeeze 5 strips down your scalp, massage it in, go on your day, right? Also, texture-wise, I was fanatic about it not leaving any type of residue because we don't have time for that, right? So fast absorbing, lightweight, and it had to feel like a facial serum, very elegant. And it just needed to fit in with people's lifestyles, which I think can be hard sometimes, right? When
Well,
you're
to develop a
packing in-
routine and to be consistent, it has to be easy.
Exactly.
Or else nobody's going to do it.
Exactly. And so I think putting in a few products into your life, into your routine that are easy to use, fast to do, and something you can actually remember and also kind of enjoy doing, I think that can be very important for a scalp and hair routine.
Very
Okay.
much so.
Okay, the last one, I mean, this is gonna sound so cliche coming from a derm, but you also need to protect your scalp skin from the sun.
No, I'm so glad you brought that up because
Really?
I never feel like people think about it. Ears,
don't.
ears, and scalp line.
I mean, I think
the
about my ears, I don't
sunscreen.
think about my scalp
Yeah.
line.
Sunscreen.
What
right?
are you doing?
Yes.
What
I mean,
do
so what do you
do?
Yeah, what kind of sunscreen do you
so
use?
you can either put sunscreen
Just
on
like
your
normal,
scalp.
your normal
Like
facial
you can
sunscreen.
do powder. You can do, I think powder is probably a little easier.
Yeah.
You can do like spray, aerosol, sunscreen. But yeah, those can be a little greasy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And how do you know you're getting enough on? That's
Yeah.
my issue with powders and sprays. And so I prefer just hats, just like physical coverage.
Got
I'm
it.
never without one.
Got
yeah.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I've seen skin cancers on people's scalps as a derm, right? Like people who are bald.
oh my
like who
gosh,
don't
Jenna
have much
is having a
hair.
moment right now. She's like, I've never sunscreened
I know. I really
line.
pride myself on wearing sunscreen every day.
Yeah.
My neck, my ears, my
Yeah.
face, and so I'm like, oh my god,
My
I've been
scalp
missing
line?
this very crucial piece.
Yes.
Throw on a hat,
That's a
you
good-
know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's hard with the like the greasiness of
Yes.
of regular sunscreens. Like put a hat on,
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
sunglasses,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Have some driving
Gloves.
gloves. For when
I
you're
have it all.
Stuck in
Girl,
LA
I-
traffic.
You have driving Yes, I'm the Asian auntie with the Darth Vader
love
and
it.
So
the
proud.
everything. We simply must. We
So
simply
proud.
must.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
Those
God.
were really good tips. Thank you for those because I'm like, I think most people just you don't know what you don't know
Yeah.
unless you're like looking this
Right.
stuff up, you
Yes.
know. But also they'll be able
Right.
to, you know, everybody needs to go follow you
Yes.
so
I
that
will
they
tell
can get
everyone all these tips.
Yes, get
Yes,
more
you'll
tips.
Get all the tips.
So great. I loved that. It'll be great to like incorporate that as well. I think our
I-
listeners are going to love that.
Me too.
I'm going to close off the episode with what advice would you give your younger self? Just to bring it back to, you know, I know we talked about little Joyce at the beginning, but what advice would you give your younger self?
I think this is probably going to also go back to this idea that you had to be a people pleaser and placate everyone in order to be successful. I think it's understanding that haters are going to hate, and no matter what you do, someone's going to find fault with it. So you might as well go forwards and do what you want. I think it
love
took me a long time to get there. Yeah.
I mean, and I love that you were saying even like this year in particular, you're working on specific facets of your life to like implement that mindset, right?
Yes.
Because it really is never too late. And next year you might have another facet of your
Yes.
life that you're like conquered that, but now I got to do that here. You know,
that's
such
right.
great advice.
I think a lot of
Thank
people will
you.
resonate with that.
Yeah,
Mm.
agreed. Thank you so much for coming today. It
Aw,
was such a
thank
great
you.
conversation.
Yes.
Thank you guys so
just
much.
like educational, but also you're
Just
so,
so inspirational.
gorgeous and inspiring. It was great.
She's aspirational, people.
Oh, she's
Aw.
aspirational.
You guys are
Perfect
so
AAGC.
sweet.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you. Thanks for having me.
You've been listening to Undefinable, an AAGC Originals podcast brought to you by Asian American Girl Club. Executive produced by Ali Maki, Jenna Ushkowitz, Tia Sam, and Kara Wang. Edited by Jacob Ho. Intro music by Gloria Kim. Thanks for listening.